All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Ruiners, episode 4, I believe. If I'm wrong, internet, then
Whatever.
sorry.
Correct
but,
us.
I think I'm right. We didn't get to last week's. If you listen to Digital Cast episode 30 this week, you'll find out why we didn't get to it. It was a hell of a week for me. A hell of a week.
Hell of a week.
Anywho, let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Walking Dead, the past 2 episodes were really good.
Yep.
Some things that we talked about last week that I didn't like, some things you didn't like, some things we both did like. I'm just going to get into it. With episode 10, I'm getting a little tired of the whole Rick seeing his dead wife thing.
Yeah.
He was just outside the prison hanging out for like only God knows how long, and he didn't get attacked. Like it was just a weird thing.
Yeah.
It
is a little bit. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I like the mysterious the phone. You know, when he was talking to the voices on the phone, that was cool.
Which is a huge part of the comic book.
Yeah.
As well.
But I think that the whole and you pointed out to me because I didn't think about it till you said it. He's just hanging out.
He's just out there.
Zombies are just walking around doing whatever.
He was in the woods with the.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know.
Yeah. It was just kind of a ridiculous thing, but. The best thing about it, of course, was the last 10 minutes or so.
Oh yeah, big time.
The big gunfight, and just the governor finally just shows up and just wrecks house. And
it shows how ruthless he is.
Yeah,
and so
drove the
fearless he is, I guess.
Drove that truck in. Had one of his guys drive the truck in. Zombies pile out.
Yep.
And then that spilled into this episode, this last week's, because one of the things he did obviously was he ran that gate over. Now the zombies are starting to flood into that part of the prison.
Yeah.
That was so it was really good.
It was a really good episode. Couple things about this week's newest episode, the one that was Sunday. I have a couple things wrong with it. I really liked it. It was a good episode. There's no dead wife, so I don't get a complaint about that. First thing was I found myself saying like, where's the baby? Where's little ass kicker? Like where did they put it?
Yeah.
It's like they left it in the prison during the gunfight. Like I don't know. I mean, I guess not everyone's out for the gunfight, but it's like I think they have a hard time referencing the baby.
Yeah.
I think they always have.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of like it's kind of bad.
And
drives me a little crazy.
And I know it, and this is going to sound like a little bit sad, but it's a TV show, and so use that character, use the baby, as a part of, the baby cries. Oh, that'll attract zombies. So now we got to figure out ways to make sure the baby, they brought
her vocal cords out.
Something. They got to do something with the to bring the baby. And I'm with you. It's like, So is she? Because she is a character.
But it was also like with Glenn in the last one.
Yeah.
Glenn just leaves. He's having sort of not a meltdown, but he's having a hard time with his woman, and Rick's gone, and he's trying to take charge, but basically no one believes in him, including myself. And so he takes off in the truck, and then he comes back randomly during the fight.
Yeah.
And so it was like, where was Glenn? Like, and then they didn't reference it at all. It wasn't like, where were you? You didn't help us. They were just like, hi, Glenn. It's cool. Come on. Yeah. So I thought that was really weird.
Yeah, it is. There are some of those little holes that you're like, come on. I mean, let's deal with this stuff. Let's get a little more real. But
so let's get into this episode, this most recent episode. Just ask you a question. Where do you think Andrea's loyalties will lie in the end?
I think that she is going to wind up going back with the prisoners, with Rick and his crew. But that brings me to one of my main things. These last 2 episodes have revolved around 3 main characters.
Yeah.
And that's both good news and bad news, because the one character that it's good news is the governor.
Yeah.
We're really starting to see what he's all about. I mean, his ruthlessness this last episode, just again, really trying to manipulate the situation. The bad news is Andrea. It's like I'm getting tired of Andrea.
Yeah.
The character. I'm just
definitely
whatever.
I agree.
And then the third character, of course, is Rick. And Rick, these last 2 episodes, has just been catatonic. He's just like, I've seen my dead wife. I'm freaking out. I'm not really contributing.
Yeah.
And,
what I thought was weird, just to cut you off real quick, was when Carl was outside, Rick's son, and Rick I think Carl was outside and Rick showed up, and his son was like, can I tell you something without being mad? And he's like, yeah, what's up? He's like, I want you to stop being the leader.
Yeah.
And then it cuts over and Rick's like, I'm the leader.
Yeah.
I'm here. Let's do all it. And he's like trying to organize things. And I don't know. I guess it was like a wake up call for him.
Yeah.
But it didn't, like I said before, it didn't really like reference, like the conversation didn't really go past that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. That's just like me personally. Like, give me more. Like, Give me a little more.
Give me a little more. Make it happen. So, but yeah, I thought that one of the things I really like, is as horrific as the show's theme is with the zombies and the killing and the blood, is I like when they put in these little scenes that have like this glimmer of hope or whatever. For example, I got chills watching that scene when Herschel's daughter starts singing.
Yeah.
I was like, it was just well done. It was well shot. And it was kind of this like, here's a little light in the darkness.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that they need to do stuff like that to say, hey, listen, we're human.
Yeah.
And we're facing this horrible thing, and it's that contrast. It's kind of a,
and they did that in the book as well. So I think that they're kind of taking that from the book. Right in the book, when you thought it was going to get really good for them, and you know they're doing a lot of stuff at the prison. They're like, you know, that's one thing that I also miss about the book that I wish that was in the show is Herschel starts that farm.
Yeah, he
starts teaching everyone how to like basically like sustain themselves.
Yeah,
they don't really do that. And so time seems very shrunk down when they're in the prison, but that's fine. That's just a minor thing. But in the book, it seemed very this is good. This is going to be good, and then all of a sudden something really bad happens. Like the end of the first compendium's like, oh my! I was like stressed out. I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Yep.
I had night terrors, and
it
was all bad. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I just can't. I can't personally, and I don't think most people can watch a show that it's just bad. You know, just come on, give me something I can just hold on to, give me a little hope, you know. So, anyways, I thought that was, and the other thing that's great is it seems like it's just getting more, when it comes to zombies, it gets more gruesome.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's some zombie deaths. You're like, holy God. Like the slamming the zombie in the trunk of the car, and then this last episode when they basically puts the zombie's head on the rock and
I was gonna bring that up and say what was more brutal, the head slam. I mean, the zombie that they curbed didn't die, but the head slam in the trunk, or oh bless you,
excuse me,
or the curbing on the stone so she can kind of pull the Michonne. And
the curbing on the stone was like, oh,
she had to do like twice. She was like,
it was just so bad.
It was good.
Yeah, so I was like, ooh. Yeah, it was pretty bad stuff.
One thing I want to bring up that hasn't been addressed pretty much at all, but in the book, which I reference the book a lot because I loved the book, and I know you did too. Governor shows up with a tank.
Yeah.
We know he has military stuff because they took it from those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever really referenced that they have a tank. I don't remember. What was that?
I'm just here.
Is that you?
Oh, okay. Go on.
I was going to say, answer the door, please. No.
Hold on. I'm getting all choked up. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
So I don't know if they've ever referenced that they have a tank that the governor does, but I would love to see him drive that tank.
Oh, wouldn't that be sweet?
I mean, the end battle needs to be so good. I feel like they're dragging the episodes on, which is fine because it makes me feel like the last episode is going to be so epic that it's going to be like amazing. But it also worries me because what if the last episode's like, dun dun dun, next season, and I'm like, mother ever, oh, I'm just like freak out. You know what I mean?
There's gonna be some kind of cliffhanger because there always was.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of have to follow along with that
same
pattern.
There's so many stories that they could follow as well.
But I mean, it's how many more episodes are left? So if they ended it at 7, I guess there's 7 on the second half. So that means there's maybe 3 more episodes left.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to look.
3
at
or 4 probably.
But you're right. It's kind of like, let's just get to the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because now at the end of of this last episode, Tyrese was back in with his crew.
Yeah.
And he's joined the governor. You know,
who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah,
with that.
Who knows? And so because his experience with Rick was not good.
I was just going to say, like, I'd like to say he goes back with Rick and he says, like, my loyalties lie with you. But at the same time, he has no reason to say that.
Oh, yeah, there was nothing.
The governor welcomed him in and said, like, we'll give you food and training or whatever. You know what I mean? So,
and maybe that's all part of the plan. Because the governor he's very benevolent in terms of, hey, I'm bringing you in, I'll take care of you, but then you're gonna be my soldier.
Yep.
And that was another part of that episode was he's raising up his army of just whoever he can get.
Yeah.
You know. So
very cool. Well, with that, great episode. We're looking forward to the new ones. Let's get into a couple other things real quick. We have a little bit more time.
Cool.
I know we are both watching The Following continuously.
Yeah. Yep.
Give us your quick review of The Following real fast.
The following has remained pretty snappy. I mean, I like the concept of it. It's some good characters. The two main characters are great. Kevin Bacon and the bad guy. I wrote his name down. James Purefoy.
Oh yes.
Who plays Joe Carroll?
Yes.
Great actors. It has a 24. Remember the show 24 has a 24 vibe
Jack
to
Bauer.
it. Yeah, and which is also a Fox show and all that stuff. But that's great because I did like 24.
Yeah.
But like you were saying about dragging on, it gets a little bit like,
that's
my
biggest thing about it.
So let me hear what you're.
So I like this show. I am a Kevin Bacon fan. I think he's good. He's a great actor. I want to applaud Fox for actually having a decent show.
Yeah.
I don't know what the last good show on Fox was. I mean, like to me, I watched Alcatraz, but no one liked it apparently, and I don't even know the ratings on this show at all. I don't know if the feedback's been good.
I think it's been really good.
Has it been good? The hype seems good.
Yeah.
But anyway, every episode feels like really like no one can get a foot ahead. Like everyone's like confused still. And one thing I hate the most about it, and I know I've talked to you about this a lot, is I don't like the what was that Gerard Butler movie where he was like in prison, but like
it
was Mike, do you know what I'm talking about? Gerard Butler. He was in it was a movie where he was in prison, Game Change or something weird like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about because I saw it in the theater and I was like,
that whole vibe of like, really, like you had all this very planned out. Like, okay, so who exactly works for you? Oh, this person does. This person does. This person.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, man, does everybody work for you? So like a joke my wife and I have when we watch it is every time like a new character or someone comes on, I'm like, oh, he works for him.
Yeah.
She works for him. And she's like, does he really? And I'm like, oh, I've never seen this. I don't know.
But and it's funny because this last episode, the young FBI agent Iceman.
Yeah.
I call him Iceman because he played Iceman in X-Men movies. He goes, how could he have planned all this? How did he plant this police officer in this area here? And it's like, that's kind of my frustration too.
We want to know.
How could he have gotten that so far ahead of the game that he knew all the pieces and stuff? But maybe that lends to the brilliance of that character of Joe Carroll.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, one thing I do like about it is my wife was asking she was kind of like, oh yeah, like how would she have not given or blown her cover or whatever, and because I've been saying that Iceman, I don't know his name in the show, but I've been saying, oh, he works for him, and so Heather was like, yeah, but he would have. Why did the girl shoot him then? And I was like, well, remember the creepy military guy that kidnapped the wife was like, everyone plays their own role.
Yep.
So not everyone knows the other players in the thing.
Yep.
When Roderick showed up to the house to get it wasn't
Roderick.
Not Roderick.
I don't know who Roderick is.
The other guy. The guy that showed up with a shaved head in the car to get the kid.
Yeah. They
didn't know who he was. He had to identify himself.
Yeah.
So that sense of it's cool that everyone working for this guy, they don't know who the other people are. Mm-hmm. That aspect of it's cool. I just still don't like you work for him. Okay, everyone works for him. Everyone but you, Kevin Bacon. Yeah. Or maybe Kevin Bacon does. See, that's the thing. It's open.
Okay, well, there's two theories, and you hit on one. You hit on one that was really funny because I do think that Iceman is Roderick.
Ooh, okay.
Because they reference Roderick last couple episodes, especially, and he's one of the main. I guess he's one of the main people in this, and he was saying, he's saying don't look at the emails because the emails are being compromised. Well, Iceman was looking at the emails, and I think that there's, but I also think that there's some other things. And notice he got shot, and he got shot, and he was wearing a bulletproof vest. Yeah. Now, whether short-haired chick, crazy chick knew that or not,
little boy, I know.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's irrelevant. The bottom line is, I think he is involved. So I think that you and I.
So you think he's Roderick?
I think he's Roderick.
Okay, I didn't put that too. I did kind of think I haven't been getting. I mean, we love our theories, but I really have been kind of just trying to watch instead of mess my mind up and then get disappointed in the end. But I did notice how they'd be like, "Did you get that email?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm still trying." Yeah. And it's like, do your job. Is this really that hard? And
it could be because that's classic 24. It's like, oh, what? Mm-hmm. And that's what 24 did so great was you didn't really see it coming.
Again.
Oh, I love it. The first 4 seasons were just great, but it was just like you just didn't see that person being a bad guy.
Yeah.
And it was just, or even vice versa. Like they were a bad guy and then we're undercover working for the CSU. Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah, whatever.
But anyways, the other theory I've got, and it's interesting because I can prove it, but I'd have to find the episode. I think that's Kevin Bacon's kid, and I think he knows that. And it wasn't that. I think that she had a son with Joe Carroll.
Okay.
But I think the son or the child is dead or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that is his son.
Really?
I have that gut feeling that's his kid.
See, the only reason, and you kind of cover the bases because you said like you think they had a kid, but we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So there's secrets that aren't being told.
Yeah.
The only reason I would disagree is because the way they reference the kid is just they reference it as yes, this is your kid.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason, but I do accept your theory.
Yes.
Into the theory of chambers.
So yeah, the chamber of theories.
Yeah.
So anyways, I like I do. I enjoy it. I look forward to watching it every week.
Yep.
This last episode was it's got a little bit ridiculous because the house is surrounded by all these, the cops.
The FBI, the cops, the helicopters.
And
no
of
one
course,
saw anyone.
Yeah, and of course the cult members were dressed up like FBI agents and were shooting people, and everybody was able to get away.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Everyone was able to get away? So I don't like the oh shoot, what was I gonna say? I really got creeped out at the whole cult stuff in this last episode.
Oh yeah.
That was like, I mean, it was
with the parents, with the FBI's parents, or the ladies' parents. Yeah.
And the way that they shot that, I mean, it was done where it was like inferred to a degree, but then there was stuff that was like really obvious, like, oh, this is what's going on. That's pretty disgusting.
That's
all
rapey.
Right.
He was got a little rapey there.
Ah.
It was weird because I also didn't like that. My wife and I were kind of like, that's one of those like subplots that didn't really need to be there, but also.
Or maybe it will.
That's what I was gonna say. Now I'm getting into theories. You're theorizing me, or whatever it's called. Maybe she works for Carol, and he got her on that level. Like, listen, he used what happened to her against her. I don't know. Maybe who knows?
Yeah, he's demonstrated that he's able to get into people's minds and use.
He's into that lawyer's mind. He cut off 2 of her fingers already.
Oh, dude, that was.
She was like,
yeah, that's crazy, and that's one of those. That's one of those like. Parts in the following where you're like, oh, I didn't really quite see that coming.
Yeah,
she's just, hey,
it's crazy.
But yeah, great. It's a really great show, and I'm hoping that it doesn't get draggy.
Yeah,
I hope that the ridiculousness, these kind of like the house being surrounded and they were able to get away. I hope that kind of that the realism kind of comes back to it, like it was in the first. I don't know. Kind of say something like that and you're like, that's kind of a really bizarre story, but anyways, that's cool. But Kevin Bacon's great, man.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's super good. Cool. We're just about out of time, but next week we're going to be reviewing another Walking Dead, probably another following, but we're also going to review the Netflix original series House of Cards, and we both really like that show.
Very good.
We're just running out of time. Check out Digital Cast episode 30. It's a very special episode. 30 episodes.
30, man.
We have over 30 hours of podcast on the interwebs now.
That's a lot of stuff.
So, at any rate, thanks for watching. I'm Rob. This is Eric.
Yes.
This is Ruiners. And until next time, ruin somebody's life.